Hello guys, this is Mantrix and I'm showing you some resolution comparisons between native 1440p versus native PS2. I will also be doing some frame rate testing and show you guys the best settings for Mace Griffin Bounty Hunter. We are using a custom resolution of 2560 by 1440p, native, 16 times anisotropic filtering, automatic bitmapping, full direct 3D, and we are using 16 times MSAA and skip draw range 1:1 or 1:1. I will explain that very shortly. 16 times MSAA at 1440p costs around 1.5 gigabytes of video RAM. Now, I played through this whole game, I beat it, and I used skip draw range 1:1 the whole way through, and it looked perfectly normal, looked like software mode, no graphical glitches, because if you played on 0 and 0, like that, there is a little bit of artifacting in the distance, so you have to skip it by using this preset. You could try some other ones, maybe like 1 and 5 may work, but I'm just doing 1 and 1 and it works perfectly fine. So yeah, definitely turn on that if you want to get rid of the artifacting in the background. Accurate date, fast, texture filtering of display, FXAA shader are both on. We are using bilinear PS2. HUDs in this game remain filtered on bilinear PS2, so you do not need to force it. And we are using Direct 3D11 hardware. Now, this looks very scary. I will explain. I am also using MTVU. This game targets 60 frames per second if you have more than 3 cores. I have 6 cores. Definitely turn this on. Now, I normally do not mess around with this at all. I've made a lot of PCSX2 content, and I think this is maybe the second, if you're lucky, time I've ever messed around with this. Second time. Now, this game has a lot of skipped frames per second, so if you're in combat or if you're just running around in rooms, you'll get a lot of juddering. I think it affects OpenGL and Direct 3D11, but to fix it, you need to set the cycle rate to 3, so 300% cycle rate. This one doesn't work, this one doesn't work, you need to max it out. I have a 3.33 gigahertz CPU, and this game, even with this preset maxed out, it doesn't surprisingly slow down much. There are some slowdowns here and there, but I played through the whole game at almost a solid 60 frames per second. But yes, to get rid of the skipped frames, to get a nice 60 frames per second smoothness, nice smooth 60 frames, yeah, you have to have that. Very strange, but that's the case. Now, this is native PS2's dimensions, 512 by 447, it means 448, but let's have a look at this. Now, you can already see that the lighting looks different. Now, let's have a look at the texture filtering. So as you can see, it starts to get a little bit blurry at oblique angles at around there. Yeah, around up there, maybe there. So trilinear, bilinear, around there. If you look in the far distance, obviously, this pixel count is getting really low, like it's 448p. Is it? Yeah, 448p. So starts to get very blurry in the distance, as you see, but when I get closer, it gets more sharper, but still a very blurry overall resolution, as you see. If I go to native 1440p, you can see the lighting's a little bit different. May have something to do with MSAA or skip draw. I haven't really looked at it much, but this game looks a lot clearer at 1440p with 16 times MSAA. And it runs really, really nice and smooth. As I said, game target 60 frames. Frame rate's on the top left corner of the screen to see. Now, as you see, I know nothing's much happening on the screen. I know there's a bit of slowdown right up ahead, so I'll show you guys. Oh, by the way, the anisotropic filtering at 16 times, it's working. It's working. It's in place. So as you see, if I'm viewing an oblique angle, it looks nice and sharp, which is really, really good. So let's now go back to that area. Now, as I said, there's a fighting up ahead, and it's a big open area, so there's going to be some slowdown. As you see, so far, surprisingly, it's not so bad. But yeah, this is at 300 times cycle rate on a 3.33 gigahertz CPU with MTV1, and this is pretty much most of the game. It actually surprisingly runs 60 frames a lot of the time, which is really, really nice. So that's good. There's a little bit of hitching here and there, but other than that, it looks pretty good. Let's go to software mode, see how well this runs on software mode. Now, software mode is more demanding than hardware mode, and yeah, once again, surprisingly, it's actually running quite well. So don't be afraid to bump it up to 300 cycle rate, because it make your experience better. Now, as you see, this is native PS2. Let's go back to native 1440p. everything looks a lot clearer. All those nice white light neon stripes look a lot clearer at native 1440p. If you go to native PS2, it's color changes, a lot more aliasing, just destroys the nice look of it. And you got the glass right there that looks a lot better on 1440p as well. The whole game just overall looks a lot better at 1440p. So yeah, pretty nice experience on here, not gonna lie. Now, this is like the second time I've ever mentioned aspect ratios on my whole set of videos I've made for the PCSX2. Now, the reason why I'm mentioning this is because I have a 16:9 widescreen patch on, and this is one of those games, very, very rare that a game does this, that actually tied the HUD aspect ratio to the widescreen, ultra widescreen, super widescreen, or super ultra widescreen. So no matter what aspect ratio you are playing in, you can play on a 32:9 aspect ratio, put on a 32:9, 21:9 super widescreen patch or ultra widescreen patch on, and this HUD should scale with the aspect ratio of what you're playing in. So as I said, 16:9, this is native 16:9, not 4:3 stretched. And yes, it actually scales really, really nice and well with it. It's really, really good. Not many games do this at all. Very, very rare that games do this. So yeah, thanks for the developers to, you know, put that sort of implementation in, because it actually aged really, really well, where most games have 4:3 stretch HUDs, which doesn't age all that well. And the text, you know, the numbers, you can see them quite clearly. You know, it is a little bit blurry a little bit, but still, go to native PS2, you know, the HUDs start to age a bit more. Like the 4 is starting to get hard to see. The 8 is almost looking like a 0 in a way, but you can still see it. It's still an 8. But anyway, that's about it. Thank you guys for watching.